Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the English podcast. I'm Emma, and I'm so happy you are here with me today. No matter where you are listening from, your home, your car, your office, or maybe while walking outside, this moment is your time to focus on improving your English in a calm and natural way. Learning English is not something that happens overnight. It grows slowly like a plant. Every time you listen, every time you repeat a sentence, and every time you try to speak, your confidence becomes a little stronger. That is why this podcast exists. Here, we learn together through simple conversations, short stories, real-life situations, and speaking practice. My goal is to help you feel comfortable with English so that one day speaking it feels as natural as speaking your own language. Before we begin, take a deep breath and relax. Don't worry about understanding every single word. Just listen. Imagine the situations and repeat when you can. The more you listen, the more familiar the language becomes. Think of this episode as a long journey, where each minute helps you build your listening and speaking skills. Let's begin by imagining a simple moment that happens every day somewhere in the world. Imagine you are walking into a room where you meet someone new. You smile politely and say, "Hello, my name is Emma. It's nice to meet you." The other person smiles and replies, "Hello, Emma, my name is Daniel. Nice to meet you too." You respond with friendly curiosity and say, "How are you today?" Daniel answers, "I'm doing well, thank you. How about you?" You reply, "I'm doing great. It's a beautiful day." This short conversation may sound very basic, but simple greetings are the foundation of communication. These small moments help people feel comfortable speaking with each other. Now imagine another situation. You are starting a new job, and on your first day you meet a colleague in the hallway. You say, "Hi, I don't think we've met before. I'm Emma." The colleague smiles and says, "Hello, Emma. I'm Lucas. I just started working here last week." You reply, "That's great. I'm still learning my way around the office." Lucas laughs and says, "Don't worry. It took me a few days." Conversations like these help build friendly connections and make new environments feel less intimidating. Let's move to a peaceful morning scene. A young woman named Hannah wakes up early, as sunlight gently fills her room. She stretches her arms and looks out the window. The sky is soft and blue and the streets are still quiet. Hannah enjoys these calm moments before the day becomes busy. She walks into the kitchen and pours herself a glass of water. After that, she prepares a simple breakfast. She makes toast, slices an apple and pours a cup of tea. As she eats, she listens to soft music and plans her day in her mind. Now let's repeat some simple sentences inspired by this morning routine. I wake up early in the morning. I open the window and breathe fresh air. I prepare breakfast and drink tea. I begin my day with positive energy. Try repeating these sentences slowly. Practicing like this helps your mouth become comfortable forming English sounds. Daily routines are a great topic for conversation because everyone has one. Imagine someone asks you about your day. You might say, "I usually wake up at 7 in the morning. After waking up, I brush my teeth and take a shower. Then I prepare breakfast. Sometimes I eat eggs and toast, and sometimes I just drink coffee and eat fruit. After breakfast, I start working or studying." Let's imagine a story about a university student named Kareem. Kareem studies architecture and spends many hours designing buildings and drawing plans. Every morning he wakes up early and reviews his class notes before leaving for campus. On his way to university, he rides the subway and often reads a book during the journey. When he arrives at the university, he meets his classmates in the studio where they work on creative projects together. Some days are challenging, but Kareem enjoys the process of learning and creating new ideas. In the afternoon, Kareem often studies in the campus library. The library is quiet and filled with students focused on their work. Kareem spreads his notebooks across the table and begins reviewing his assignments. Occasionally, he takes a break to stretch or drink water. After several hours of studying, he packs his bag and heads home feeling tired but proud of his progress. Now let's imagine a conversation between two friends talking about hobbies. Emma asks her friend Olivia, "What do you like to do when you have free time?" Olivia smiles and replies, "I enjoy gardening and listening to music. It helps me relax." Emma responds, "Gardening sounds peaceful. Do you grow flowers or vegetables?" Olivia laughs and says, "A little bit of both. My garden is small, but I enjoy taking care of it." Conversations like these allow people to share their interests and learn about each other's personalities. Another common topic people talk about is food. Imagine you are having lunch with a friend. Your friend asks, "What kind of food do you like the most?" You answer, "I really enjoy homemade meals, especially dishes with fresh vegetables." Your friend replies, "That sounds healthy. I love trying new recipes on weekends." Talking about food is a great way to practice describing tastes, preferences, and cooking experiences. Now let's listen to a short weekend story. Last Sunday, a young man named Ethan decided to spend the day exploring his city. He woke up early, packed a small backpack, and left his apartment. The weather was warm and sunny, perfect for walking. Ethan began his day by visiting a small cafe where he ordered a cup of coffee and a croissant. After breakfast, he walked through narrow streets filled with colorful buildings and local shops. As he continued exploring, Ethan discovered a street market where people were selling fresh fruit, handmade jewelry, and local art. The market was lively and full of energy. He stopped at a fruit stand and bought a cup of fresh strawberries. Then he walked to a nearby park where families were enjoying picnics and children were playing soccer. Ethan sat on a bench and watched the peaceful scene around him. He felt grateful for the simple pleasure of discovering new places. Stories like this help you learn how to talk about past experiences. Notice how verbs change to describe actions that already happened. For example, woke up, packed, left, ordered, walked, discovered, and sat. These words help tell a story about something that happened earlier. Now imagine two friends discussing their plans for the upcoming weekend. Emma asks, "Do you have any plans for the weekend?" Liam thinks for a moment and says, "Yes, I'm planning to visit my cousin in another city." Emma replies, "That sounds exciting. How will you travel there?" Liam answers, "I'll probably take the train because it's faster." Emma smiles and says, "I hope you have a wonderful trip." Talking about the future often includes expressions like "I will," "I'm going to," or "I'm planning to." These phrases help you explain your intentions and future activities. For example, you might say, "I will finish my project tomorrow," or "I'm going to start learning a new skill next month." Now let's imagine a warm evening at home. A family is preparing dinner together in the kitchen. The father is chopping vegetables on a wooden board while the mother is stirring soup in a large pot. Their teenage daughter is setting the table, and their younger son is pouring juice into glasses. The kitchen smells delicious, and soft laughter fills the room. Preparing meals together becomes a time for conversation and connection. This scene uses actions that are happening right now. For example, he is chopping vegetables, she is stirring soup, they are preparing dinner. This structure helps describe ongoing activities. Let's practice repeating a few sentences together. I am listening carefully. You are improving your English. She is writing a message to her friend. They are watching a movie together. When you repeat sentences like these, your brain becomes more familiar with English patterns. Now imagine a small conversation in a restaurant. Emma and her friend Noah are sitting at a table looking at the menu. Emma says, "This restaurant has such a cozy atmosphere." Noah replies, "Yes, and the music is very relaxing." Emma says, "I'm thinking about ordering pasta tonight." Noah smiles and says, "I might try the grilled fish." A few minutes later, the waiter approaches and asks, "Are you ready to order?" Emma responds, "Yes, we're ready." Another useful way to express yourself in English is by talking about abilities. For example, you might say, "I can swim, I can drive, or I can cook simple meals." But sometimes, we talk about things we cannot do yet. For example, "I can't play the violin," or "I can't speak Italian fluently." Talking about abilities helps people understand what skills you have. Let's imagine a short story about a girl named Mia. Mia loves outdoor adventures. She can swim very well and enjoys spending time at the beach during summer. She can also ride a bicycle and often explores nature trails near her home. However, Mia cannot ski yet. Every winter she watches people skiing on snowy mountains and dreams of learning one day. Instead of feeling discouraged, she takes small steps by practicing balance and strength exercises. Now imagine a calm evening scene. Outside, the wind is gently moving the trees, and the sky is filled with shining stars. Inside a small house, a family is sitting together in the living room. The children are playing a board game while their parents are drinking tea and talking about their day. Suddenly the lights go out because of a power outage. The room becomes dark, but the father lights a candle. Instead of feeling frustrated, the family begins telling funny stories and laughing together. Sometimes unexpected situations create the most memorable moments. Now let's practice sentences that combine different past actions. "I was reading when my phone rang." "She was cooking while listening to music." "They were walking through the park when it started to rain." Sentences like these help you describe situations in a more detailed way. Let's continue with another short story. One afternoon, a teacher named Mr. Rivera was preparing his classroom before students arrived. He was arranging books on the shelves and writing notes on the board. At the same time, the school hallway was slowly filling with the sound of students talking and laughing. When the bell rang, the students entered the classroom and greeted their teacher. Mr. Rivera smiled and said, "Good morning, everyone. Today we will learn something new." Learning environments like this remind us that education is a shared experience. Teachers guide students, but students also learn from each other through discussion and teamwork. Now imagine you are sharing your dreams with a friend. You might say something like this: "In the future, I would like to travel to many countries and learn about different cultures. I want to meet people from different backgrounds and hear their stories. I also want to improve my English, so that I can communicate with people around the world without feeling nervous." Learning English can open many doors in life. It allows you to study in international programs, travel with confidence, watch movies without subtitles, and connect with people from different cultures. Every sentence you learn becomes another step toward these opportunities. Now let's practice some positive sentences together. "I am improving every day." "I am becoming more confident in English." "I am not afraid of making mistakes." "Every mistake helps me learn something new." When you repeat positive statements like these, your mindset becomes stronger and more motivated. Let's take a moment to imagine a peaceful nature scene. A traveler named Elena is hiking through a forest trail. The air is fresh and cool, and sunlight filters through the leaves above her. As she walks, she hears birds singing and the gentle sound of a nearby river. Elena stops for a moment to admire the beauty around her. She feels calm and grateful for the quiet connection with nature. Moments like this remind us that language learning, like hiking, is a journey. Sometimes the path is easy, sometimes it is challenging, but every step forward brings new experiences. As we approach the end of today's episode, take a moment to reflect on how far you have come. Even if you understood only part of this podcast, your listening skills are improving. Every minute you spend listening to English helps train your ears and your brain. Remember something very important. Fluency is not built in one day. It grows through patience, repetition, and practice. The more you expose yourself to English through listening, reading, speaking, and writing, the more natural it will become. Thank you so much for joining me today on the English podcast. I truly appreciate the time you spend learning with me. If you enjoyed this episode, remember to return for the next one where we will continue practicing English with new conversations, new stories, and new speaking exercises. Until next time, keep practicing, keep listening, and most importantly, keep believing in your progress. This is Emma, wishing you a wonderful day and a confident journey in learning English. See you in the next episode of the English podcast.